Three of the backrooms is quite literally a guy's house. You might ask, a guy named Alan Grady. This guy has been here since 2008. Let's get to the letter. Hello there to whoever is reading this. If anyone, my name is Alan Grady, and I am a 37-year-old male of average height. I am writing this because I am trapped in my own house, and I don't know how to get out. And this is my latest attempt at outside communication. I guess it's best to start where it all started. It was December 2008, almost Christmas. It was just me in the house that day, alone. I don't remember much, but I remember my entire house falling, if that makes any sense. I still have the damn decorations up right now as of writing. Well, then I woke up after being knocked out for God knows how long. I awoke to see my house how it normally should be, though some objects and glass shards were on the floor from what had happened. I looked around to see the outside world was still outside my windows. I realized that this wasn't the case soon after. I thought things would still be normal after all of that. I tried opening my front door, but it just led me back into my house. I froze in fear. I didn't understand what was going on, nor did I really want to know. It all happened too fast. I jolted back to the corner of my wall and sat down with my back leaning against it. I just sat there in shock and deep thought. What will I do now? I looked around to explore the house itself. Everything there was normal, for the most part. All the bedrooms, the bathrooms, and the kitchen, my devices, it was all there. Even the basement. Well, days soon turned into months. But the sky outside my window never got dark. It was always early in the morning, like 7 a.m., maybe? I can't really tell anymore. The clock still works, and it's currently 4:23 a.m. I haven't gotten much sleep since I got here, but I never felt like I needed to often. The food is edible and the water is drinkable, but only from the fridge, and I need to use a filter pitcher soon. I thought I ran out of things to eat, but when I went down to the basement, there is always this pit of food on the ground that can last me a few days. I always have to grab it all and run to the fridge and cabinets to make sure some of the food stays fresh. You know? It doesn't restock at a certain time, though it's always completely random. One time it wouldn't restock for weeks. I have no clue how I was able to survive that long and feel normal. It wasn't until that very last week that I started to feel very hungry, as if all the days previously that I haven't eaten came back to haunt me. That was until I looked to see if the basement had restocked, and it did. But I noticed that most of the packages were ripped open and broken. I then saw movement, so I slowly walked towards the small food pile to see what was inside. Turns out a little mouse had gotten into the food pile and was having a good time eating everything he saw. Must have been here before the house fell. Carefully trapped the mouse in the jar, but brought him upstairs to a small cage from a previous hamster pet, and I made him my little friend. I named him Louie, and I feed him daily. But honestly, it doesn't help the fact that I am still alone from any other human being. Well, soon after, years had passed, and during those times, I get visitors. Still do. However, they are not human. They are more tall, slender, and they have no face. They don't seem to be any danger, though. They just aimlessly wander my house, either sitting at the table or couch, or just looking outside the window. Sometimes they sit down next to me as I watch TV. Surprisingly, it still works normally. I still needed to get new cable before all of this, so there wasn't much to watch. Wi-Fi also still works, although it's practically shit. There isn't much to do, so I took cooking as a hobby. All the kitchen utensils work, so I usually cook whatever I can with my random assortments of foods. I make really good steak if you ever want to try some, whoever you are. If you even find me, you know? Even though my food restocked in my basement, it's always on the concrete floor in the middle of the room. I have to go and wash it every time after moving all the food so nothing gets infected. Meanwhile, I noticed I was getting a pile of food every few days to a week, which was much more than I could eat. I started to save my food to make sure I have enough to last me a few years. And hell, did it work out for me? I got my own cookbook and everything. I'm sort of an expert in cooking now. Well, a lot of days have passed now. I recently made many attempts to escape, including breaking the windows. It has always shown a nice neighborhood and some people walking around outside. I would always stare at them or even scream for help, but no one did anything. Well, besides one time, where there was a whole group of people staring at me from afar. Though the window, I really couldn't, through the window, I couldn't really sleep after that. I made my efforts to break the windows, but they wouldn't budge until one of them eventually broke. Although my efforts were for nothing, as if it just led back into my house again. Well, now I'm just here. There seems to be no way out, and it seems like I'm stuck here for the rest of my life. You know, I just miss people. I miss my friends. I miss my family. I miss my life. I was working in a very well-paying job as my wife took care of my kids. I just wonder why I was brought down here. Everything happens for a reason, right? Please help me. Your friend, Alan Grady. The EMEG report says that they have found Alan Grady. He was behind a red marked door and in a small house on level 8. And since then, he's been taken back to that house, which apparently is his house now. And now he can leave and enter at will. If you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, and comment. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Later, losers.